Y'all, they done found cancer in the braiding hair.
No, it did not. Well, not quite.
Our latest investigation found carcinogens in all 10 products of artificial braiding hair that we tested.
Yeah, bitch, I don't give a I had no idea how toxic synthetic braiding hair is. Like, I'm living for today, not tomorrow.
My scalp is on fire.
Look at my scalp, and it's even worse on the back.
I'm not gonna stop wearing it. So why are we having this conversation?
I don't give a flying rat's behind. I'm putting them braids in.
Y'all too fucking cheap to invest in anything that's not gonna kill you.
How much?
I let it go for about $40.
$40? You decided to come to social media and present underdeveloped, dangerous, and careless findings to unsuspecting black people, black women.
So there's a report going viral about 10 hair brands being found to have chemicals that cause cancer. And I must say that the discussion around this topic is quite disheartening. It's like people would literally rather be, before they ever consider wearing their natural hair. This isn't new, by the way. This is just one of the latest among other articles and research that has been done concerning this topic, yielding similar results.
Our latest investigation found carcinogens in all 10 products of artificial braiding hair that we tested. Beauty products such as synthetic braiding hair are largely unregulated, and some ingredients are not required to be listed on the package. This puts the health of people who wear synthetic braiding hair and the braiders who install them at risk. If you wear synthetic braids, one tip to decrease your overall exposure is to take breaks between installs. Braids are often worn for many weeks, and prolonged repeated exposure increases your risk. We contacted all synthetic braiding hair brands we tested for comment. Only 2, Sensational and Magic Fingers, responded, both disagreeing with our testing methodology. Hair Zone Sensational said, "We unequivocally stand by the safety of Sensational products, and our company urges consumers to continue to confidently use Sensational products." Magic Finger said that we strongly stand by the safety of our products and the quality materials used to make them. Neither company responded to questions about whether or not they do pre-market testing of their products for lead, volatile organic compounds, or other contaminants. Read our full investigation, including other concerning findings from our tests, through the link in our bio.
So the research done on this topic is said to not have been done thoroughly. Some things were left out, other things were done, but not done according to the standard that it should be. There has been talks about how this particular report's research was based off injection instead of dermal contact, which means your braids are on your head, they're in contact with your skin, not really in your mouth or digestive system like that. Even though some people may actually put braids in their hair to like get it out of the way as they braid, you may also share a snack or something with your braider as you braid along. So I feel like maybe both could have been better if you based it both on dermal contact and injection. However, this doesn't mean the information shared is totally incorrect. Maybe a bit misleading to make such conclusions given the method used to collect the data is said to be questionable. But let's also remember that this is not the first research that has been done about this yielding similar results. Let's keep that in mind. Also, the fact that these brands didn't care to respond must tell you one of two things. Either they know that the chemicals are in their product, or they've actually gone through the whole research and decided this is not a thoroughly well done research, so they just throw it out. What I find the most disturbing about this whole thing, which literally screamed we are obsessed with artificial hair and probably need therapy, is people's comments and response to this whole thing. Who asked you to test this? Me watching this, knowing I have an appointment in a few minutes. Life's too short, we'll die anyway. I'm going to remain oblivious. I didn't hear that. So we can only have mini twists and mini braids? Who's we? Who's we? Black people. The people with the most versatile hair I've ever seen in my entire life. Is the we we're referring to? And if we're really being honest, anything you do with your braiding hair, you can do with your natural hair. Just say you don't like it. I understand wanting a little bit of volume. You probably don't hear this then. But we're constantly still treating our hair like it's just meant to be foundation for the actual braid, which is braiding with extension. It's like, God forbid we wear it as it is. It should forever be covered up or hidden within some extension. That's quite sad. And I understand change is gradual, so I'm not saying by tomorrow, by 7 hours, we should all be natural. That's not what I'm saying. I understand these things didn't happen to us at once. It's something that happened over a long period of time, so it's internalized. I'm not expecting progress to be like more, no. But in the same breath, I feel like some people just refuse to take any initial step with regards to bettering their relationship with their hair. And somebody says, should I go bald then? And I'm just there like, why? What happened to the hair on your head? Do you take out your braids and your hair too? Why would you be? This is a perfect example of people literally using their hair only as attachments to hold the braids. Now, the worst and most embarrassing comments are these Christian comments. God even protects the ones that haven't chosen him yet, and you think he will turn away just because you choose to do hair? You're forgetting about God's grace. God, me, I don't know how you manage. So he already gave you functional ears and your ability to make informed decision. And your informed decision in this instance is to inform him that he should take care of it because you don't want to. And I know God is almighty and all that, but he's probably just looking down at you like, get somebody else to do it. I'm not dealing with you today. Someone said, how about human hair? And somebody responded, it's too expensive. So it's chemo. You can either pay now or later. And it actually hasn't only come down to human hair if that is too expensive. We still have plant-based hair braids. So there are companies like Nourie, Rebundle, Kynd, and if you're an African, you don't want to deal with shipping costs, we also have cheveux from Uganda. All of these companies are plant-based and make their braiding hair from banana fiber. And the best thing about it is that they're all black owned by black women. So we really still have options. Your hair too is part of the options. What I'm about to show you next may actually comfort you if you aren't ready to give it up yet. But I just want to give you all the information available that I know of about this discourse so that we make informed decisions.
Our latest investigation found carcinogens in all 10 products of artificial braiding hair that we tested.
No, it did not. Well, not quite.
This puts the health of people who wear synthetic braiding hair and the braiders who install them at risk.
You can't make these claims.
If you wear synthetic braids, one tip to decrease your overall exposure is to take breaks between installs.
That's baseless advice. James and his colleagues at Consumer Reports were so kind to provide the methodology for their scientific testing, so let's have a comb through it. Now, everything as far as the skeleton of the methodology seems sound, but there's a massive flaw as far as the sampling is concerned. James, you only tested 2 samples per product, James. You did not perform any statistical analysis because you didn't have enough data to. And by extension, this experiment and its findings are statistically insignificant.
They don't mean anything. But I'm sure you're already aware of that. That's why you didn't attempt to get this quarter-baked report published. Because no reputable scientific journal would even entertain the idea of it, which is why most of the brands didn't even respond to your inquiries. If I worked for them, I would have burst out laughing reading this undergraduate level report while holding my morning coffee. These are preliminary findings at best that actually have the potential for significance. But instead of keeping it in-house and performing further testing, you decided to come to social media and present underdeveloped, dangerous, and careless findings to unsuspecting black people, black women, under the false pretense that they are at the forefront of your research. Get back to the lab and conduct proper, publishable research, or don't do it at all. So to James and the Consumer Reports team, please do not fall back into my scientific crosshairs again, especially when it pertains to the black community. Because next time, I may just take the shot. Let's all be guided. That's it from me.
Alright, let's dissect Consumer Reports' findings that synthetic braiding hair contains carcinogens, because people are already jumping to conspiracy theories. So they tested 10 different products for the presence of heavy metals as well as volatile organic compounds, VOCs. The brands are in the left-hand corner, including Darling, Debut, and Sensational. And they tested each product twice, which is why you see duplicates of each one. And they concluded that all 10 products contain levels of lead that exceeded the maximum allowable dose level, as set by California because there is no national level for this. However, the MADL they went off of is for drinking water, which is only based off of oral exposure, not dermal exposure. So I emailed them asking why did they base the exposure limit off of oral exposure, not dermal exposure, because you're not eating your braids. And part of the reason they went with the oral exposure model is because of the likelihood of braiders coming in contact with the braid by eating food after braiding somebody's hair and not washing their hands, or little kids with braided hair putting the braids in their mouth. And while I understand why they went with that model, I don't agree with it because, again, you're not intentionally ingesting braids. Any contact with the mouth is incidental. Plus, the limit for lead allowed in lipstick is 5 ppm, while none of the lead concentrations in the tested braid samples exceeded 0.2 ppm. And you're much more likely to ingest lead via lipstick than you are via hair. But you might ask, why is there lead allowed at all? It's because lead is kind of impossible to get rid of. It's elemental, it's in the ground. So these are very conservative limits to account for the fact that lead is just ubiquitous. And as for the VOCs, the level of benzene detected in this is far below the standard set by OSHA for daily exposure. But the biggest concern with the VOCs would be acetone, which may or may not be a concern for you if you get nails done, because you are exposed to some amount of VOCs when you boil the braids to seal the ends. So if you have any respiratory issues, breathing in that acetone might be a concern. Otherwise, I don't find their findings cause for alarm because the levels detected here are far below other things like bentonite clay. Bentonite clay has a good amount of lead in it. But ultimately, I'm just here to help you make informed decisions. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't buy. If you'd like synthetic hair alternatives, I have a video on rebundle that you should check out. Also worth noting that this product from Sensational contains no detectable levels of lead. I hope this helps.
And I actually love that these people are providing context to all of this, because when you give out scientific data, you want to make sure it's correct. You don't want people to have second thoughts and think, well, how sure am I you're doing it right this time? Because the last time you messed up. You don't want to give somebody a reason to doubt you with information that can actually save their lives. Ultimately, the choice and experiences are yours. You're the one that experiences a headache when you braid your hair. You're the one that experiences an itchy scalp. Whether or not you deal with that by putting your hair in apple cider vinegar before braiding it, whether or not that helps, I don't know. You're the one that deals with irritation and all of that. So to wait for a ban or scientific data to tell you how to feel about these experiences is absurd. I hope you're not doing that. Make a decision based on how you feel about these things.
I've been on social media and I've been in this natural hair space for over 15 years now. And I've been a huge advocate for Black natural beauty, self-acceptance, and self-confidence around natural hair. Sometimes I feel like I'm way too invested and I care so much that there are times where I feel like I need to disassociate. And it's topics like this where I prefer not to say anything because I feel like I don't have the sensitivity and the patience anymore to speak on the topic without stepping on toes and hurting people's feelings. And this is a very sensitive topic to discuss. And a lot of times people don't need to hear the shit that I'm saying from a bald-headed Black man. Speaking about Black women and their self-image issues, I'm fully aware of this. I understand this. So usually I take a backseat on these things. People want to know my thoughts, so I'm going to give it, okay? First off, most people don't know, I'm a natural hairstylist. That's why I'm so invested in this, because that's my job, that's my business, that's my passion, that's my dedication, all of that, okay? I've told y'all many times on this app, every which way that I possibly can, that y'all need to leave this synthetic hair alone. Y'all need to leave the hair addition alone. They're like, oh, the braids stick on my edges. What do I do? How can I get braids not get my edges snatched out? I'm like, leave the braids alone. You're like, oh, we found out braids is damaging our hair. What can we do? How can we get the braids not damage our hair? I'm like, leave the braids alone. I'm like, y'all like, oh no, we found out there's cancer in this braiding hair. What do you think about it? Leave the fucking braids alone. Leave the fucking braids alone. Leave the shit alone. I don't know how many different ways I can tell you the universe, God, the creator, is trying to tell you to leave this artificial fake shit alone and work on investing in yourself and the self-care and self-preservation of your own natural hair in whatever form that looks like for you. Even if you don't prefer to wear the styles that I do, maybe you want to be a straight natural or whatever, you want to rock the hair. Okay, just take care of your hair so you can at least do that. You know, I'm tired of seeing y'all get on this app, destroy your fucking hair, complain about the shit, hate up on your hair, you speak all negatively about it. I'm tired of the shit. And then y'all want to get on here and y'all want to hear about all this carcinogens and the braiding hair, and y'all want to act like y'all fucking care, like y'all give a fuck. Y'all don't give a fuck. Let's be honest about this shit. Y'all really don't give a fuck. Y'all, we've been hearing about the ovarian cancer and the risk relaxers. That will stop y'all from relaxing. And, you know, we've been hearing about all the risks and dangers of all these different products out there. And now even with the braiding hair, y'all not going to stop wearing this shit. So why are we having this conversation? Like, really, why are we having it? Y'all not going to stop wearing it. Y'all not going to invest in the what is it, rebundle or whatever it's called. You're not going to invest because y'all too fucking cheap to invest in anything that's not going to fucking kill you. So the next best thing is just to learn to love up on your hair and take care of your hair. But most of y'all are struggling with that because you don't like the shit. So you find innovative ways to fuck up your hair while also trying to be team natural. And it just, I'm over it. I think what really pisses me off about this is, like I said, y'all act like y'all care and y'all really don't. On top of the fact that y'all are putting all this shit in your baby's hair when they really have no business wearing all this shit anyway. On top of the fact that maybe if you wore the braids on occasion, it wouldn't be so bad. But you all over fucking consume the shit. Like, you over consume the shit. You keep the shit in for months. You wear it back to back to back to back. You find any and every way to cover your shit up and then want to complain about damaged hair and how hard it is. I don't understand. So my thoughts on this is exactly what it's been since I've been on this app, and exactly as it's been since I've been on my YouTube channel for years. Like, leave the braiding hair alone. Leave it alone. Let's work on investing in you, yourself, your self-confidence, your self-image, and your personal feelings around your natural hair. Like, it's so many y'all have this false sense of self-confidence. Most of y'all get up in the morning, y'all walk in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and you don't like what the fuck you see. And again, I know it's not something you want to hear from a bald-headed black man, but this is something I've struggled with myself as well. And I know our experiences as, you know, black men and black women are going to be different, but you still got to put in the fucking work. At some point, you got to put in the work, and you either going to accept the fact that you think you an ugly bitch, and you need to put all this makeup on, all this extensions on, cover the shit up, and do what you got to do to walk in the world and feel pretty, or you can work on yourself and learn how to become comfortable with the things that make you uncomfortable. That's all I got. That's legit all I got. Because at the end of the day, y'all not gonna stop wearing the shit. Y'all still gonna rock your boho. You still gonna rock your crochet. You still gonna rock your faux locks. You still gonna get these lock extensions and everything else. Why are we having this conversation? Y'all figure it out. Just leave me out of it.
Because truthfully, horrible effects of using braiding hair have always been there, from traction alopecia and also drying out our hair and damaging it if not installed and managed properly. So we've ignored that so far. I don't know where that cancer is where we draw the line, or we'll just ignore that as well. I don't know.
Are you telling me all these years we've been wearing braids, thinking it's a protective hairstyle, thinking we're growing our hair, thinking we're doing something good for our hair, all to come to find out that braiding hair causes cancer? And I wonder if this is the same braiding hair that they sell in the UK, because you know how over there they're more strict about like ingredients and chemicals or whatever. Because if this is the same hair that they sell over there, not my hair, but just the hair in that video that y'all probably saw already, like, then I feel like it's not that bad. Like, it's still bad, but it's not like that bad. But if it's this not the same hair that they sell over there, then well, it's just like, what are we supposed to do with this information? Peak braiding hair season is like right around the corner.